In this demonstration I will show you the updated Coffee Video Admin application that Sarah has created, and you will learn how to fetch metadata from a blob. Let's switch to Visual Studio. Here I've opened the updated Coffee Video Admin application. As you can see, there is a new blob metadata section in the Coffee Video view. Users can enter here a title and a description, they can reload the metadata from blob storage, and they can also update the metadata. When you enter a title here, the Update Metadata button gets active, and you can also see the title in the list view in the navigation. But when you click on Update Metadata, nothing is sent to blob storage. When you reload the videos, you can see that the title is gone, because there is nothing saved yet. Also, the Reload Metadata button doesn't work. As you know, we have added some metadata to this author MP4 file in the previous clip. Now let's implement the logic to reload the metadata for a blob. But before we do this, let me show you the most important parts of the updated code of this Coffee Video Admin application. As you know, this part here is the Coffee Video view. That view is using the Coffee Video view model. That means you find the UI logic for this blob metadata in the Coffee Video view model. So let's close this application and let's open up the Coffee Video view model class. When you scroll down in this view model, you can see here a new title property and also a new description property. There is also a new property is metadata changed that is used to enable or disable the Update Metadata button in the user interface. As you can see, this property calls a getBlobMetadata method on the Coffee Video Storage instance. The getBlobMetadata method returns a tuple with a title and a description from the cloud Blob. Then this isMetadata change property compares the title and the description from the cloud Blob to the title and description properties of the Coffee Video view model. Let me scroll down further. Here is an Update Metadata async method that calls an Update Metadata async method on the Coffee Video Storage instance. As you can see, beside the cloud Blob, the values of the properties title and description are passed to that method. When you scroll down further, you can also see the Reload Metadata Async method. This method calls a Reload Metadata Async method on the Coffee Video Storage instance. After the metadata was reloaded for the cloud Blob, an Update View Model Properties from Metadata method is called. That method is here at the bottom. You can see it calls again the getBlobMetadata method on the Coffee Video Storage instance to get a tuple with title and description. Then these values are assigned to the properties title and description of the Coffee Video view model. These two properties are used by the text boxes in the Coffee Video view SAML file. So it might be the best idea to start with this getBlobMetadata method in the Coffee Video Storage class. So let me open up the Coffee Video Storage class. Let's scroll down in this class, and here you can see several to-do comments for you. Here is the getBlobMetadata method, and you can see the to-do comment, read title and description from the blob's metadata. For now, this method just returns a tuple with 2 empty strings. Now let's change this. Let's remove the to-do comment. As the first string, we need to return the title. So let's use the cloud Blob, and the cloud Blob has a metadata property. When I hover this, you can see that it is of type iDictionary, that uses strings for its keys and values. So that means on this iDictionary, you can call the contains_key method and you can check if it contains the key title. But let's not hardcode this key. When you scroll up in the Coffee Video Storage class, you can see that there are fields for the strings title and description. So for the title string, we can just use this _metadata key title field. So let's scroll down again to the getBlobMetadata method. Instead of the hard-coded string here, I just use this _metadata key title field. And now, if the metadata contains that key, let's grab the metadata dictionary and let's grab the value for that title key. If the metadata does not contain the key, let's just return an empty string. Now let's do actually exactly the same for the description. Let me just copy this block and let's use it for the second string of our tuple. Instead of metadata key title, we need to use here _metadata key description, as we want to get the description. Now this method looks good. Let me add a breakpoint here and let's run the application. The method is called already at startup. Let's take a look at the call stack. As you can see, the method is called from this update view model properties from metadata method of the coffee video view model. When I go down one step in the call stack, you can see that this update view model properties from metadata is actually called in the coffee video view models constructor. So let's continue, and the breakpoint is hit for all of our blobs. Now the application comes up. Let's select the author MP4 file, and the getBlob metadata method is called again. Now let's hit F10 and let's step through this method, and you see we are in the isMetadataChanged property of the coffee video view model. And actually, we get two empty strings from this author MP4 file. Let me hit F5 so that the application comes up. Now let's click on Reload Metadata, and we are again in this getBlob metadata method. This time, again, the author MP4 blob is passed in. I hit F10 to step through this method, and you can see again that title and description are empty. Let's hit F10 again a few more times, and you can see the method was called from this Reload Metadata Async method. But we saw there is no metadata in our Cloud Blob for the author MP4 file. This is because the metadata is not loaded by default. Now let's load the metadata in this Reload Metadata Async method of the Coffee Video Storage class. So let's stop the application again, and let's go back to the Coffee Video Storage class. Here you can see the Reload Metadata Async method and a to-do comment for you, Reload Metadata for the blob. To reload the metadata, you just use the Cloud Blob instance, and you call its Fetch Attributes Async method. As it is async, we need to await it. This method will fetch the metadata from blob storage, and then the getBlob metadata method can actually use that metadata. Let's also add a breakpoint here, and let's run the application. The getBlob metadata method is called when the view models are created, so let's hit continue 4 times, as we have 4 MP4 files. And now let's select the author MP4 file. The getBlob metadata method is called again because the isMetadataChanged property is calling it. Let's continue. And now the application is actually up, and let's click on the Reload Metadata button. Now the Reload Metadata Async method of our Coffee Video Storage class is called, and the Fetch Attributes Async method on the Cloud Blob is called. Now after this method is called, you can actually take a look into the metadata of that Cloud Blob. You can see we have now 2 items here, and when you expand it, you can see the description creating pluralsight videos with coffee and the title authoring with coffee. That means when I continue and I go into this update view model properties from metadata method, the getBlob metadata method of the coffee video storage instance is called, and now this method will actually return the 2 strings authoring with coffee and creating pluralsight videos with coffee. So let's continue. GetBlob metadata is called again from the isMetadataChanged property. I just step through this, and now you can see the metadata that was loaded from blob storage. But as soon as you click on Reload Videos, and I continue here for all the 4 videos, the metadata is gone again. Now let me show you how you can grab the metadata when you list videos.